Hey, I'm Jacob.
And I'm Jared.
And we're here to talk about the dragon, the ball, and the
Z.
Yeah. So,
It was off, but that's okay.
It's alright. We are authentic. Alright, we're on episode 134 of the Android Saga.
The androids have not been, as much as they've somewhat been a threat, it's also because Goku's not there. So now we're at a point where we're going to see that the androids actually are a threat, like with or without Goku. Even if Goku was there, that would still been a threat here. And so this is where it gets really interesting. Like, basically the episode starts with Vegeta blowing the door down.
Yeah, and he opens the scene and it's just everyone's picking on Jiro. It's like this guy can't get any respect.
I do want to point out this is also like the androids are still, I don't know if it's like a writing thing or what, but like and also like an art style thing, but like both of the androids seem a little bit more different now than what they become later on, if you know what I mean. Like they are a little, it feels like Frieza Saga writing, and then it becomes Android Saga writing, if you know what I mean.
Agree.
Like, like Jiro and even 19 feel like they're in the Android Saga.
Yeah.
They feel very much written in the way they're drawing their eyes and stuff. It reminds me of older animation.
There's a weird, maybe it's because, and I sense like there's a lot of tension between them and 1920, and they don't have that with 16. I don't really understand why they're making fun of Jiro, like, oh, you released 19?
Yeah.
Like, you idiot. Like, what was the issue with 19? I guess because it's absorption based, but it seems strange. There's a weird tension there. 17, the reason he kills Jiro, which we'll get to in a second, I guess, is because Jiro tells them don't release 16.
Yes, they're also obsessed with 16. Like both, they really want to see 16 unleashed. They want to know who this guy is.
Of all the things for Jiro to die for, it's for not releasing the android.
It's fan theory stuff, right? Like, why are these androids here? My fan theory has always been that they were basically poor kids that were basically like, they sold themselves to become experimented on. So at this point, with the power they have, the power's gone to their head instantly. They know how powerful they are, and they want to do anything they want. And so I think it's also like the fact that at 16 they don't know his backstory. They kind of want to free him because they're also just like, he's like us. He's another person that should just be free and do whatever the heck he wants.
What's your headcanon about why Jiro doesn't want him unleashed? If he hates his whole goal was to kill Goku. This android has the mission of killing Goku. So he's pretty obedient about everything else.
So this is new canon stuff, obviously. But now new canon, because they show like his family tree in the new movie, which it has 16. 16 is like, it looks like 16 is like a son of somewhere in Jiro's family, basically. And then android, I forget her name, the female android that's in the fighting video game is also shown. It seems like is related. So I think he doesn't want his relative for whatever reason, and he might even want to power him up. There might even be like that he's just not done with him yet, because 16 seems to have a lot of potential with like his powers, and then we do see that later on, that 16 might not be at full potential. I think he wanted to make him even more powerful to then be able to rein them in if he needed to, like have an android that's on his side in a way.
Android 17 slaughters
this destroyed Jiro. Yeah. Jiro's head's on the ground while I talk.
And he goes, I think this wasn't such a good idea or something. In the dub, it's like the comics thing. But yeah, 17 curb stomps him. Yeah. There's definitely a vileness to 17 I don't feel like you get with the other androids, right? Like he has a little of that Chaos Kid Buu energy.
It's like in the future Trunks movie, like he just likes being a cowboy. He likes to be in this like super powerful thing that controls everything and gets mad anytime something inconveniences him. Yeah. But even his sister also sometimes has that as well. Like she'll be clothes shopping, it doesn't go well, and then boom, like she gets super angry, starts destroying things.
So next thing is, as they're releasing 16 or about to, Trunks does his like heroic attitude burst of the episode. These are happening every episode or so.
What does he do? He just,
I have to stop them. Or whatever.
Yeah. If you watch the Toonami stuff, like that's that's just like a moment from the Toonami, the thing that they just sting at the beginning or whatever. Like it was just like, it's a cool moment, like, and then there's nothing. Nothing. Like you think the whole thing's exploding. You think, wow, that must have. Nope, nothing at all. The android
is just a cool outburst. Everyone's sitting here. You are like, as a kid, you're like, why is everyone just watching this? You're with Trunks on it. Like,
So but Vegeta especially wants to fight them at full power. Basically, like kill Jiro, and then the first thing they do is like, well, we're gonna get out of here and kill Goku. The thing Jiro wants. So why even kill Jiro if you're just gonna do his bidding still? But whatever. Jiro had to be gone, and it didn't matter. At this point, Jiro had one hand and was already like outpowered by them. So I guess you want him gone because of that. But like, it's a weird thing to destroy your creator just to go do his bidding after he's gone.
Yeah, they do say they're gonna look, but I think it's interesting watching it now how much they treat that Goku thing is a game. It's not. It's not like Jiro as its vengeance. It's like cat and mouse. We talk about a lot.
Once again, it is the power dynamic. They just want to dominate Goku because he's the most powerful fight
and in general, it's so interesting that then the next, so they take off. They're not even trying to fight.
Yep.
They haven't done anything other than kill their master, who was kind of
they were trying
manipulating them,
and they were trying to kill them. So nothing's been done yet.
And then even when they, I mean, it's again this whole story of like 3 years ago. Morally, they couldn't kill the androids because they haven't done anything yet. Yet like. Here they are going to fight the androids before they've done anything.
Well, and to be fair, I think they're trying to stop them from being activated. And then at this point, Vegeta's the one who also engages. So Vegeta doesn't care. Vegeta never made a pack about that. He just wants to destroy them at this point because he's a Super Saiyan. And there's even a line about that, how he's kind of become even more prideful since he became a Super Saiyan.
We're on episode 135, where the Z Fighters track down the androids for the first showdown.
Yep, they're on a highway, which is kind of a unique sighting. And Dragon Ball honestly is. It's one of the only times they fight kind of on a highway. Like in an area that has somewhat bystanders sometimes. Yeah. It's a pretty cool fight. Like it's a pretty well animated fight, and this is a fight that I know people really enjoy online. But I don't think about that often. But like, this was actually a pretty enjoyable fight at the beginning when they're equally in power.
It's funny you say that because this is the fight I remember the most out of all of the Android and the Cell Saga.
Oh, interesting.
And it's because like I had it record. It's one episode, so you can watch it over and over. It's like mainly one episode. And I had it. I recorded it off Toonami, and I would just watch it endlessly. And like you're saying, the choreography, like you can really follow what's happening all of the time. Like you can.
It's fast but slow.
Yeah.
Like, but in a good way. Like,
but the way that they're, and a lot of like body movements of throwing each other around.
Well, mainly I think it's also mostly physical stuff too. Not too much energy stuff. There is energy stuff, but it's mainly physical, which is kind of unique at this point in Dragon Ball Z. To not be just like, I'm going to throw a giant energy orb at you and then go, well, I'll do it back. Like,
and it gets personal so quick too. I mean, like Vegeta talks crap
so much smack.
But 18 does it back, and it's like they really lock into each other as adversaries very quickly. Like you can't imagine. I mean, after all these years, I can't imagine Vegeta fighting a different android at this point. Like, it's just such a...
That would have been so weird to see 17. Yeah.
But and 18's holding back the whole time, which we don't really know, and I don't know if that's just talk or not. It feels pretty even, but then she says she was holding back and starts headbutting him.
I was going to say, her first real punch gets him to bleed, and then she kicks him in the gut, and it obviously affects his body. Like, whether or not he wants to, she is overwhelming him when she actually is trying to fight.
Back-to-back episodes of Trunks jumping in.
Yeah, I was gonna say Trunks, and then basically at the end of this, he's like, "No, I must stop this!" And then like the episode kind of ends.
They brought back the painting, like the mosaic, that they haven't done since early, like since Frieza's saga stuff. Yeah, and it's a really powerful mosaic of like Trunks charging in to save his father, and Vegeta holding his arm, and like it looks like John the Baptist on his head on a platter. So like it's such an iconic injury, and I remember because of that mosaic, like having so much hope. That like next week it's gonna be okay. Trunks will save him. Or like there was like still this hope. It's such a good cliffhanger. I don't feel like there's many fights that have that much of a cliffhanger that it's not clear that they're gonna get served as they do in episode 136. But so then as soon as Trunks gets in, a 17 gets to play cops and robbers, I guess.
Which this is just the Z Fighters now in a chaotic battle trying to fight the androids and not being able to win. And the androids are very kind because like Tien could have had his head popped off and 17 just chokes him out. From their perspective, these kids' perspective, they wake up, they've destroyed the villain that the guys want, and they're going off and do whatever the heck they want. And now people are chasing them down, and they're now like telling them to stop, and these people would stop. So like in their mind, they're like, well, we gotta take him down, and they're not even killing him.
They even say to Krillin, give him sensu beans after.
Yeah,
like they are purposefully having a lot of mercy. It is crazy.
Once again, why is the Marin stuff happening? There was Marin stuff.
Well, wait, like, Turtle finally gets his moment in the sun, beating up some fuckboys on Roshi's Island. I thought that was a good contrast with like every other Z fighter is getting destroyed, but Turtle is having the best episode of his life.
I guess I just don't. I would just want to question who made these episodes. Like, why
in the middle of it?
Yeah, it's just so weird. Of where it has the iconic moment of everyone's down, Krillin talks to him, and then AT kisses him, walks off, and they like use the sensu beans. I really do want to read Toriyama's reasoning for the kiss. Like, what was his reasoning for that? Was that really the setting up there of a romance, or was that just to give Krillin a win? Like, what was the setup?
It's a weird dark comedy thing. I think one of my issues with like Android and Cell Saga in general. The stakes never felt that high, and what you're talking about in general, like Frieza felt like the universe is in peril, civilizations are going to be destroyed if they don't step in. The androids never felt like that. The androids always felt like they're treating this like a game. They got to go find Goku somewhere. They're kissing people. They're knocking out Vegeta's pride. Like, you can almost empathize with them a little bit. In Cell 2, it's like, well, we'll get there.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like it's at, and maybe that was part of it. Is like you want to take a step back from the stakes of the Frieza saga.
And I'll be honest, I like that. I think that a lot of times it's like what right now in like the superhero things. Every superhero movie, they're gonna destroy the Earth. It gets boring after 10 movies in a row that you're gonna destroy. The Earth obviously is gonna survive. So what's the point? I like sometimes when the stakes are a little more like we're just killing Goku, which in theory then makes Earth unprotected. And from their perspective, like you say, it's a game to them. Yeah. What it is they're bored. They're bored teenagers that literally have all the power in the world, and with knowing that Goku and Vegeta pride is to go Super Saiyan and Trunks' future, which means that there's no one that even gets near their power level. Okay, guys, what do you guys think of the android fight with Vegeta? Was that like a good fight? Like, so like, are you something like Jacob, who like that's the fight you remember from the saga? Or you're like me, where you don't think about when you watch it, you're like, that's pretty well choreographed, and like I enjoyed that. So let us know in the comments below.